Good morning, everybody. This is Mike from The Last Corvette. I am currently driving back to my second property, which is located right on the water. It's a beachfront property. That was about 30 minutes north to finalize a deal or a purchase of a new-to-me pontoon boat. Now, this is a Sylvan pontoon. This is a Commodore 3. So this is a we'll call it a dual threat pontoon boat. This is a pleasure pontoon slash fishing pontoon. So it kind of covers all the bases. It's a super nice pontoon. I'm sure there's going to be part 2 as well when I take possession of this watercraft next Saturday. And there's a couple of different reasons why I'm doing it. It was supposed to be today, but I'll explain that a little bit later on in the video. So why am I getting a pontoon? Pontoon makes perfect sense. It's a day boat. It's a pleasure boat. You can get into the shallows. You can go to sandbars. You can go to your local waterway restaurants, bars. You can also fish, and you can also pull tubes and engage my kids, right? Engage their friends when they're over. So all around, it's everything that I need at the moment, right? I don't need a big boat anymore like I used to have, you know, where I can sleep on it, right, live on it, whatever, right, over the weekends. I don't need to do that. I don't need to travel long distances. So this is going to be that perfect pontoon for my family. Now, how it all came about is I was in the middle of my inspection and closing date, and I came across this pontoon boat on the marketplace up north. Looked through the pictures, and I'm like, wow, man, I'm like, this is like really like good pontoon, right? But pictures are pictures, right? When you see something in person, you're like, well, I don't know, these pictures are great, but what I'm seeing is not so great. But in this case, everything worked out. So during the winter months, or in the off season, right? I live in Michigan, so off season toys, in season toys. It's a perfect time to purchase a summer toy during the winter because you are going to save money. And then as soon as the weather picks up, right, to get into June, late May, June, they go up usually $3,000 to $5,000 or more, depending on the watercraft. And so I called the sales guy, made a deal. Of course, you know, the whole northern portion of all the service centers, all the marinas, they're all closed. Once the last boat is put away, they'll close up shop, and they only do visits or showings by appointment only. So that's exactly what I had to do. So this story kind of forks out because half of it is kind of funny and interesting, and the last portion of it is a little bit sad too. And this pontoon is essentially a part of that story, right? Both ways. So the sales guy reached out to me and said, yep, on this day, which was a Saturday, come up and you know, check out this pontoon. I'll be in the office making a deal on another pontoon and a jet ski, I believe. And of course, that Saturday we received our biggest snowstorm as far as snow accumulation goes of 2024-2025 winter season. And I ended up driving through treacherous conditions, but I'm crazy, right? So I drove and I made it, and I checked it out. It was stored inside, cold storage, winterized with the cover over it and all that good stuff. And it all worked out. I looked at it. It was in really good shape. We signed a contract. I gave him a deposit. And of course, the contract was, hey, show me all the service, show me all the repairs, sea trial come springtime. And it all came together. Sea trial is done. Service is done. You know, everything kind of just came together. So something I didn't know is this pontoon was actually for sale. It was a consignment, right? So it was actually for sale by the marina, but for their customer, okay? And they take a small percentage because they have the exposure. So this particular pontoon was out of the water for like 4 years. And the reason it was out of the water, this is the sad part. If you guys are from Michigan, you know that Gladwin area, Bay County area, there was a major flood that happened. A dam broke, gave out, and it flooded down downstream cities and towns. It was pretty devastating. And then everything upriver, further north, essentially just turned into a creek. So all the people that, you know, have their waterfront properties, they were looking out essentially at a little creek. So now you have these boats that you can't use. Now the water levels are slowly coming up. The dam, the new dam, I was actually just looking at it. It's almost done, and they're saying 2027 water levels will return to they call it a semi-normal conditions. So we'll see how that happens, but you know, it will. But anyway, so this individual kept storing this pontoon boat inside his pole barn, and finally said, you know what, here, sell it for me. And that's kind of where I came in, and I had no idea, but that's the story, right? So person took great care of this pontoon boat. This pontoon boat was serviced essentially since new by the same marina that I bought it from. So there's a track record of all the service, of all the repairs, you know, dating back to 10 plus years. And then you have recent service from last fall when they brought it in. They cleaned it, they detailed it, they went through the engine compression checks, this, that, and the other. They also performed more service this spring. There's only two things, excuse me, there's only two things that technically need attention. One of them is a live well pump, not a big deal. And the second one is the head unit is not turning on. So you know, if you want to play your sounds, and this pontoon actually has an amplifier and like a complete sound system, I'll take a look at that. That's not a big deal to me at all. So we'll fix that. That's like the least of my concerns. And but other than that, sea trial, all that stuff, everything went well. It's a solid pontoon. And you know, sometimes when you look at even newer pontoons, even tri-tunes, right, you can see people just use them, and essentially they're put away wet. The seats are ripped, they're bleached, they're discolored. This is this is showing like new. And I'll include a couple of pictures for you guys. Don't mind the little footsteps on the carpet. That was just wet feet. It rained, and you know, it is what it is. But yeah, so to kind of close it out, I ended up getting a pontoon boat. It's being delivered next weekend. It was supposed to get delivered today actually, but we got temperatures. We're in the mid 40s. I think it's going to reach 50-ish today. And then I also have another dilemma, which is a marina. So where my property is located, I can for sure keep my pontoon out in front of the house, buy a hoist, lift, whatever. That stuff is expensive, but it's also something that you have to remove in and out during the winter season, right? But I am also very lucky because I have two marinas next door. They're about a quarter mile away from my house, so I can take, I mean, shoot, you can walk there, you can take your vehicle, or I can take my golf cart right to the boat, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. But yeah, they're going to deliver it, and my neighbor is selling me his condo well. So a condo well essentially is you own the well, you own the property in front of the well, and then every year you just pay tax, electric, and they call it a dredge fee, you know, maintenance fee of the canals. And so he doesn't use it. He usually rents it, and he was kind of like dragging his feet. He's been busy, and he just sent in the money to renew, right, to pay the tax and all that stuff. And what happens is every year, like the rest of the marinas, they update their codes, they update their keys, so he's waiting for that, and it didn't show up. He told me it didn't show up, and I confirmed it when I got here last night. So no keys, so it all works out. Next weekend we can actually deliver the boat, put the boat in the water, and then take it over to its permanent slip for this season. So that's it. Like I said, I'll include the pictures, and part 2 will be next week when I actually have this thing floating in my well. Talk to you guys later.